Hello and welcome to 103.3 Answer. It is 4:30 PM right now. I'm Hudson Bogart and by golly, it's weltering hot out here. 93 degrees Fahrenheit, that's about 34 in Celsius. That's your temperature in downtown right now. But that should change very quickly as a cold front is expected to bring rain to the area. Our chief meteorologist, Wilson McGuire, has more on that. And Bill, what do you have for us?
Well, Hudson, it looks like in a matter of about 3 hours, rain and thunderstorms will be moving into the Houston area. Along with it will be a cold front, which should put a temporary stop on these warm temperatures. Temperatures will drop into the low to mid-60s. This front is expected to bring about 2 inches of rain in some areas of the city of Houston. It should be out of here within the 10 o'clock hour. Let's move into our 5-day forecast. Tomorrow and Tuesday should be mostly sunny with highs in the mid to upper 80s and lows in the mid to upper 60s. Wednesday should bring scattered thunderstorms, with highs in the mid-80s and lows around 70. Thursday should be partly cloudy with highs around 90 and lows in the lower 70s. Updates will come in about half an hour. For now, back to you, Hudson.
Okay, Bill, thanks. A Colorado police officer was fired yesterday after assaulting an innocent black male.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in conjunction with the Houston Police Department. There have been many reports of an unknown acid-like bacteria in the city of Houston. This bacteria is found mostly in the rainwater in the area. This bacteria has the ability to eat through wood, glass, metals, and even human skin. Symptoms of this bacteria include rash and skin irritation if in contact with the skin, blindness if it is in the eyes, and severe abdominal pain if ingested. If you are suffering any of these symptoms, please call 911 immediately. All residents in Harris, Montgomery, and Fort Bend counties are advised to simply stay away from rainwater, as this bacteria is not yet airborne. Stay tuned to this station for further updates.
Thank you for having me on the show, Hudson. So what I'm seeing with this bacteria is that it eats the cells of whatever the bacteria is on, whether it is wood, plants, glass, metal, even human skin. As I recall, it was raining yesterday and the bacteria was found inside the rainwater. When I took a sample from a rain puddle and tried to look at the bacteria, it ate through the plastic of the Petri dish. Yeah, and whatever was left of the water, I tried to put on a microscope slide, and what I saw was the bacteria secreting an extremely acidic substance, which melted the glass of the slide and left a hole in the microscope slide. With this information in mind, I have no doubt that it can do the same thing to human skin and other human organs if it does come in contact with the body.
So, what are your recommendations to prevent coming in contact with this bacteria?
We still have very little information on this bacteria. All we know is what it does to anything it comes in contact with, and that it thrives in the water, making said water bubble and fizz. So the only recommendation I can give right now is to stay away from any tap water and to only use bottled water until this situation can be under control. And if you come in contact with it, go to the hospital or your local doctor's office.
Okay, doctor, thank you. In other news, a Galveston man was arrested after running around the beach naked. Oh my god, what is that? That goo! What the hell is that? It's burning a hole through the wall. Some of it is dripping on the floor and burning that as well. Oh shit. Well, let's just cut the commercial.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. At 10:56 a.m. Central Daylight Time, health officials have reported an unknown acid-like bacteria in the rainwater of the area. The bacteria, named Bacillus mordaxis, also known as the Corrosiva bacteria, originated in Houston, Texas, where a storm system came from and passed through the New Orleans area. This storm system brought the bacteria along with it, and is now in the Mississippi River. This bacteria has the ability to eat through wood, glass, metal, animal and human skin, and even the water filters. Due to this, citizens are advised to stay away from tap water until further notice. Use bottled water until an antibiotic has been created for the bacteria. Symptoms of this bacteria include skin irritation, blisters, blindness, and severe abdominal pain. If you are experiencing any of the listed symptoms, call 911 immediately. No fatalities have been confirmed yet, but the city of New Orleans is under quarantine until Friday at 11:59 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Only government and health officials are allowed in this area until the quarantine has been lifted. Stay tuned to media outlets for more updates on the situation.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Leonard Williams, and to my left is my colleague, Dr. Adam Paxton. We are here today to discuss an urgent matter. Last night, we discovered a bacteria that is capable of corroding almost anything it comes in contact with. It originated in Houston, Texas, where a rainstorm swept through the area and then went west to New Orleans and Louisiana. Parts of coastal Texas and all of coastal Louisiana are affected by this bacteria. The city of New Orleans has been placed in quarantine to fight this off. City officials in Houston are also deciding whether or not to quarantine the city. In the past 4 hours, we have received word of about 15 deaths and about 200 cases of infection, putting the total at 314 cases and 15 deaths. Although this bacteria is not airborne, it can be transmitted from person-to-person contact, such as through bodily fluids and skin-to-skin contact. As of now, we are trying to figure out how this bacteria could have possibly been released into the air and then carried by the rain. If I may, I'm going to go ahead and pass the microphone to Dr. Paxton.
So, as you heard from Dr. Williams, this bacteria has so far infected 314 people, and of those 314 people, 15 have been killed. We will continue to study this bacteria and its habits in the coming days, and we will try to come up with a method to contain this bacteria and prevent it from spreading into the rest of the country or, God forbid, the rest of the world. This being said, I would like to move on to how this bacteria affects humans. When this bacteria comes in contact with human skin, it may cause skin irritation, painful blisters, and if it gets into the eyes, it will most likely cause blindness. And if this bacteria is ingested, it will no doubt cause a burning sensation inside your mouth, esophagus, and stomach. The reason why this happens is because the bacteria secretes an extremely acidic substance. If this substance gets on anything, it will corrode it, which will cause a burning sensation if it comes in contact with human tissue.
And not only humans, but anything it comes in contact with. Wood, plants, glass, plastic, rubber, fabrics, even some metals.
We have also received word that this bacteria has got into the Houston water supply and has reacted violently with the water and corroded the filters. The same thing for the New Orleans water supply and any water supply from the cities on coastal Texas and Louisiana. So you are advised to avoid using tap water at all costs. On top of that, this bacteria is somehow resistant to alcohol and chlorine, so using hand sanitizers and bleach is ultimately useless. So we're trying to figure out what's effective against this bacteria, and so far our efforts have been fruitless. But the most effective thing we've found is good old-fashioned soap. It will not kill the bacteria, but it will prevent any more from being produced. We have been working around the clock to study this bacteria and find a better solution. Hopefully, we will find one soon.
We are very glad that you could join us today. If you have any more questions about this bacteria, I'll be happy to answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you for coming, and have a good rest of your day.
Good afternoon, you are listening to 103.3 The Answer. I'm Hudson Bogart. As the rainwaters dry up, local citizens have started to see patches of blue-green substance all across Texas and Louisiana. In fact, the other day, some of it got inside the studio somehow, which burned a hole in the wall and the floor. So we have to use a different part of the building to make this broadcast. So, the substance is very acidic and the patches can range from 1 to 4 feet in diameter and 2 to 4 feet in height. Scientists are studying the substance and will keep you updated as they figure out the substance. What's that? Okay, thanks. We've now received that word that in a moment there will be an emergency alert system transmission going over the air. So please stay tuned for this update.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in conjunction with the Texas Emergency Management Agency and the Louisiana Emergency Management Agency. At 12:05 p.m. Central Daylight Time, the CDC has made an announcement confirming that the blue-green blobs, which are commonly found on the sides of the roads of Texas and Louisiana, contains the Corrosiva bacteria. Do not go near these bodies, as they will cause burning of skin, muscle, and organ tissue, and will result in death within hours. Alkaline substances have been ineffective against these blobs, and the acid is estimated to be around 10,000 times more acidic than fluoroantimonic acid. In addition to this, these blobs have been observed increasing in size as these bacteria quickly divide. All residents of Texas and Louisiana are advised to stay indoors, and do not use tap water for any purpose, including taking baths and washing clothing, as the bacteria is still inside the water supply. Only drink bottled water and other beverages until this bacteria has been contained. Civil danger for the entire Gulf Coast of the United States. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Reports of the Corrosiva bacteria spreading to other areas besides Texas and Louisiana have been confirmed. These areas include Biloxi, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, Panama City, Florida, and Tampa, Florida. This bacteria can be found in the water, where the acid secretions make a bubbling reaction. It can also be found in the form of large bodies that are on sidewalks, buildings, and vehicles. Many buildings and vehicles on the Gulf Coast are collapsing due to this bacteria. The water supply in this area is also being contaminated with this bacteria, making tap water unsafe for the citizens of this area. Contact with this bacteria will result in corrosion of the skin, muscles, and organs, and will result in death within hours. Hospitals are beginning to overflow with burn patients. All residents on the Gulf Coast of the United States are advised to take the following actions. Avoid using tap water. If you see a puddle of fizzing water, or a blue-green body, get away from it as quickly as possible. If you come in contact with the bacteria, go to your doctor's office as quickly as possible or call 911. Most importantly, do not panic, as panic will only make the situation worse. Stay tuned to media outlets for further updates. Civil danger for much of the southeastern United States. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Reports have come in that the acidic bodies, now known as the Corrosiva balls, have now spread further to other U.S. states. These states include North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. The Corrosiva balls consist of the recently discovered Corrosiva bacteria, and the superacid said bacteria produces. Many vehicles, buildings, and other structures are currently being destroyed due to the bacteria being capable of dissolving wood, glass, plastic, and metal. In addition, the large bodies of acid have the capability to increase in size, divide itself in half, and release a small amount of bacteria into the air, where the wind transports it to a different location, causing more bodies to be created. Human contact with the bacteria may result in corrosion of skin, muscle, and organ tissue, and can result in death within 8 to 24 hours of contact. Around 4,000 lives have been lost currently, and hospitals and doctors' offices in the area are now severely overflowing with burn patients, and as a result, it is difficult to receive medical attention. All residents in the southeastern United States are advised to take these following precautions: return to your homes, and lock all windows and doors. Turn off all heating and air conditioning systems. Pack enough food, water, and medical supplies to last as long as possible. Get to an interior room in your house with minimal windows and entrances. If you come in contact with this bacteria, the best option is to simply wait for your eventual death, as medical care facilities have completely overflown. Most importantly, do not panic, as panic will only make the situation worse than it already is. Stay tuned for more information on this dangerous situation.
Let's take a look at our 8 News Live studio camera here. And as you can... Oh, holy shit. What is that? Oh my god. What is that? Oh, holy shit. Holy fuck. Oh god. It shorted the camera. Oh, fuck.
we interrupt our regular programming. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. The President of the United States, or another authorized federal official, will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by.
My fellow Americans, a growing national threat is among us all. We are about to face the darkest days in the history of the United States, possibly even the world. During the past week, an extremely dangerous and fast-spreading bacteria was discovered. This bacteria, Bacillus mordaxus, more commonly known as the Corrosiva bacteria, originated in Houston, Texas, where a biochemistry lab accident released this bacteria into a nearby pond, which evaporated into the clouds and spread from the bacteria from Houston to New Orleans in the form of a rainstorm. From there, the bacteria has wreaked havoc on buildings and other structures, damaging water filters and making tap water unsafe to drink, and most of all, forming large blobs known as corrosiva balls. These bodies can range in size from the size of a dime to the size of a bus. These bodies have spread throughout the states of Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, West Virginia, Kentucky, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, Texas, New Mexico, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, as well as parts of Washington, D.C. These bodies have the ability to divide themselves in half. The individual bacteria also have the ability to reproduce itself. The bacteria secrete an extremely acidic substance which is 10,000 times more acidic than hydrochloric acid, with the ability to decimate human tissue, which results in death within hours of contact. 200,000 people have been killed due to this bacteria, and the number is expected to rise greatly. Do not panic. I repeat, do not panic. Panicking will only make the situation worse. Doctors around the world are currently looking for an antibiotic that will exterminate this bacteria and restore peace to the American people. If you have not already done so, seek shelter immediately. Go to an interior room in your house with minimal entrances and no windows. Pack essential supplies such as food, water, medical supplies, a flashlight, and a battery-powered radio with extra batteries. You're advised to stay in your shelter until the all-clear message has been given out. Do not give up hope in these times of uncertainty and fear. Once again, we will find a way to exterminate this bacteria and restore peace to the American people. We will rise up again. Stronger than ever, one nation. Under God. Thank you for doing your part to keep yourselves and others safe. May God be with you, and may God bless America. Thank you.
That was a message from the President of the United States. Please stay tuned for this verse. This is an emergency action termination. All clear. Repeat, all clear. Doctors have created an antibiotic strong enough to exterminate the bacteria, and as a result, the bacteria was eradicated. In addition, all damaged power lines have been repaired. All residents of the United States are now free to exit shelter. However, due to massive damage being reported across the country, many will not have a home to return to. If you do not have a home to return to, call the National Guard at 1-800-464-8273, and guardsmen will take you to the nearest substantial shelter. This concludes all operations under the emergency alert system. Regular programming operations may now resume.
We interrupt our regular programming. This is a global emergency. Important instructions will follow.
Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. The President of the United States, or another authorized federal official, will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by.
My fellow Americans, I ask that you please pay attention to this message as this pertains to an ongoing global crisis. I regret to inform you that the Bacillus moraxis bacteria, more commonly known as Corrosiva, has now taken over 90% of the planet, and the other 10% will soon follow. 80 to 120 million lives have now been lost. The vast majority of all world leaders have been killed. The United States President is among those who have been killed. It also has been said that the acid blobs, known as the Corrosiva balls, have begun to corrode the Earth's crust, and many underground shelters have also started to dissolve. The Earth is expected to become uninhabitable in a matter of 24 to 48 hours. I regret to inform you that there is no place where you can escape. There is no way humanity can survive this event. There is no protection that is sufficient enough for your survival, and, therefore, there is no longer any reason to stay calm. You may panic if you wish to. I also advise that you gather any friends or family that may still be alive and embrace them. If you worship a higher being, pray to that higher being and repent. If you have a bitter relationship, forgive them. Engage in any activity that comforts you. Before the emergency alert system signs off for the final time, I would like to share with you a Bible verse. Deuteronomy 31:8. It is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. The emergency alert system will now cease transmission with our national anthem. May God bless you all and grant you eternal life in heaven.